Hi, I recently came across this demo, so I had to check how it was made, and I had the surprise of discovering it was made with a little over 1,000 divs. So what I'll be showing you today is how to get the same result using a single div and gradients on it. So let's get started, and here we have a bunch of color schemes. Yeah, I went a bit overboard with that. So each one of them is going to correspond to a card like the one you saw previously. So we're going to first get the length of this, so hex length. Okay, and then within a loop we're going to have for let I going from 0 all the way up to n. Increment this at every step, and we're going to have a div, and in its style attribute we'll be setting a color list, which initially we'll just be setting to the item at index I as it is. Now let's just move to the CSS, and on the body we'll be setting display grid, grid template columns, repeat, auto fill. And if you're not familiar with this keyword, I actually wrote an article, cool little CSS grid tricks for your blog. You can check that one out, but for now I won't be going into it. Min max. So here I'm going to have the minimum between 100% and let's say 17 ems. And okay, now one more thing, grid gap, let's say it's going to be 1 Now here for our divs we're going to have aspect ratio. This is actually starting to get support, so you can check out. I'll be linking to it, to info on it in the description. And background, let's say we're going to have a repeating linear gradient, and we're going to use that color list. Okay, it's going to be at 45 degrees. Then we're going to take this and make a copy of it, and it's going to be at minus 45 degrees. Then we're going to have background blend mode, lighten. So what this does, it takes every channel RGB, and it takes the lighter channel of the two layers, and this is what we're going to have in the resulting layer. Now here we have that sort of blur because you don't have sharp stops between the colors, so let's take care of that. So here we're going to have that hex is hex map the current color list, and we're going to split. So now that we've done this, we're going to do something similar, a map, except this is going to be so the current hex value, but actually we're going to need the index as well. Okay, so this, we're going to interpolate the hex value. We're going to have a stop position at 0, and the second stop position is going to be, let's say, I plus 1. Let's make this pixels, and let's multiply this by 10 for now. We're going to compute things in a bit nicer way. So you can see we now have almost that pattern, but it also has some shadows here, if you can see those. So let's take care of that. Let's say we're going to have a unit here. So here we're going to compute the unit as being hex reduce, and here we're going to have an accumulator and the current item, and we're going to get the accumulator plus the current item's length, and of course we're going to start with 0. Now this we're going to divide by n, and we're going to multiply by 10 because of course we want. And let's just make sure it's round and there are no errors there. So here we're going to multiply by this unit, and we're going to divide by the length of the current color list. So we get the same result for now, but something else we can do now here. So on the body, we're going to set a sort of a shadow stop. So this is going to be RGBA, and it's going to be 0 for all the 3 channels. Okay, and then we're going to have, let's say, 0.2 for the alpha, and it's going to start at 0. Then we're going to have transparent, and we're going to have transparency from, let's say, 1/10 of the unit, and all the way up to the unit. And of course, these both are going to be in pixels. So now we can just take these two, right, and have them once more here, except we're going to have that shadow list. Okay, something was wrong with that. Oh, of course. Okay, so now that I've set it like that, it doesn't work because of the lightning. So I'm going to have multiply and multiply. Okay, so this should blend in nicely. Now a few more tiny details. So background, for example, we can do something like a dark gray there. Let's have a fallback for that. Let's say we're going to have min height. Something like that. Okay. Let's also set border radius 0.5 mm. Let's also set a box shadow 2 pixels, 2 pixels, 5 pixels, and let's say it's going to be an RGBA black with an alpha of 0.5. Let's say we're also going to have an inset one, and it's going to be 0 offsets, 0 blur, and something like this, and make it white. So something like that. So yeah, this is pretty much it. This is what I wanted to show you for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, if you like the work that I've been putting out for almost 9 years now, please consider supporting it so I can continue. You can do so by being a cool cat and becoming a patron on Patreon. The link is going to be in the description. Or you can get me something off my Amazon wishlist. Again, the links are going to be in the description. Or you can at least share this to show the world what can be done with CSS these days, with very little CSS, by the way. Because honestly, I think it's pretty damn cool. In any event, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye!